Hi, I'm the Global Runner and I'm trying to go under 2.5 hours in the marathon, aged 50. And in this episode, we're going to go through the training plan that I intend to follow to get me there. So credit where it's due, I use this book quite heavily, You Only Faster, and I'm going to go through the actual training plan that I'm going to set up to get me to under 2.5 hours in the marathon. You've got to be uncomfortable, you've got to hurt during the training because it's going to hurt during the marathon. I want to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So I think the trick is to do enough threshold training so that you're comfortable at marathon pace, but then also I think you've got to enter that pain cave every now and then. You've got to get into the hurt locker. I know this is going to be tough and the chances of success are probably not high, but that's fine. And I'm going to make sure that I embrace the process. I have gratitude that I'm able to do this at my age, and I have fun. And I'm hoping that you follow along and you enjoy this process as much as I do. One of my friends told me that his 10-year-old son is a swimmer and does 25 minutes of activation exercises of warm-up before they even get in the pool. And that's a 10-year-old boy. If he's doing that, I should be doing way more warm-up than I am. I do think you should have ideas as to what you want to achieve in the week. So a longer week in terms of mileage or a week in terms of speed, but don't be a slave to the training plan. Like, life gets in the way and that's totally fine. Regrettably, I'm not 21 years old anymore and I've got some parts of my body that are not holding up the way they used to, and that's fine. But I've got to be diligent about those and I've got to be on top of these injuries that I get regularly, which I should be more on top of. I'm going to work on the strength training, I'm going to work on the mobility exercises, getting enough sleep, getting enough hydration, but also the little things, all these 1%, like I might even start using one of those lung workers to make sure that I don't leave any stone unturned. So the first thing you'll see is I follow a 12-week training plan. I feel like if you go any further than 12 weeks, it becomes a grind. But given my age, I recognise that there are going to be times that I need to rest a bit more, or maybe I just get ill. And so I usually start this 12-week plan 14 weeks before the race.
And then of course a blank page is extremely daunting, so I try and fill it in as quickly as possible. And I start with the easy thing, which is taper week, because I've got a decent idea of what I want to do in the taper week. So I set out the day of the race, and then the day before the race, I do a 20-minute run with a 3-minute effort, and then a couple of rest days during the week, as well as a couple of sessions designed to pick up the speed and really boost the confidence in the week before the marathon itself. In terms of the long runs, those are all going to be on the Sunday. And of course, you can't launch into immediate mileage. So I spend about 5 weeks slowly building up the mileage until I've got to about the marathon distance. And then I spend 6 weeks alternating, where I do 1 week with a long run and the following week a fast finish, shorter run to get used to running fast on tired legs. What we also tend to do is if we've had a long run, we'll do speed in this week. But if we've had a fast run in that week, then we tend to do a bit more mileage in this following week. Mondays are pretty straightforward. I almost always cross-train or do a simple jog, maybe 60 minutes after the effort of the day before. Tuesdays are double threshold days, but I don't tend to give it any more detail than that. I know I want to do 2 sessions in a day, and I usually have a speedier session and a slightly slower session. So an example day might be 15 by 1 minute on, 1 minute off in the morning, and then a 20-minute tempo run in the afternoon. Or a 20-minute tempo run in the morning, followed by mile reps in the evening. And don't tend to have many rules, but I do tend to do 15 by a minute quite often because I think that's really good for leg turnover. I think it's really good for your form as well and improving efficiency. Wednesday is usually an easy 10 miles, but every fourth week I give myself a bit of a down week. Thursdays we're looking for a progression. So we're going to do sort of based on time here to start off with, so 80 minutes with the last 20 fast, and then we're going to be building up to the key session, which is 10 miles marathon pace. So these are always going to be like tempo runs or longer efforts to try and really improve the tempo, because of course the pace that you need for a 2:30 marathon is really daunting, and so I want to get comfortable at that pace, and I really want to sort of key into running at that pace or slightly faster so that it becomes second nature, hopefully. And Fridays are easy too. On Friday I'll either cross train or rest. See these Saturday sessions down here? These are my wild cards. I get to decide what I'm going to do without worrying, and so I can fill in any gaps in my training on these days, or I can rest. Like if I need more rest and that's the gap in my training, then that's what I'll do. So there we have it, the training plan. That's what we're trying to achieve. We've got 12 weeks, we've got the long runs on the Sundays, we've got double thresholds on the Tuesdays, and we've got some various tempo runs and marathon pace runs in there. Thursdays we're sort of building up with the longer type of marathon pace runs, and we have generally an alternating theme of a long run, an over distance run on 1 week once we've built up to it, and then faster stuff during the week, building up to a fast finish long run. And then when we've done that, the following week is more focused on mileage, so bigger mileage week with sort of longer tempo runs. So let me know what you think. Do you think this is a winning formula? Do you think this is a recipe for disaster? Let me know what you think, but that's how I have come up with the training plan that I hope is going to get me under 2.5 hours for the marathon, aged 50. So follow me along with the journey, and I'll see you on the next one.